Good morning and welcome back to Single Supper and Suds. If this is your first time seeing this, welcome. I'm going to just give you a brief rundown of what this is all about. So the premise behind this whole thing, the whole idea, I guess, is that I'm single, work a full-time job, I'm super busy, got a lot of stuff going on, and I like to cook, but I don't have a lot of time to cook, and after working all day, a lot of times I don't feel like cooking. And so what I've learned to do over time is to maximize time spent in the kitchen, to prepare an entree, but then have subsequent meals based off of that same entree to kind of simplify my life. The other thing I do is I like to try different kinds of beer. I'd like to drink beer occasionally. I'm not a big drinker, but I do like beer, and I don't like to just drink the same old thing all the time. So I like to try different things. I do have my favorites, but I do like to try some different beers. So we're gonna sample, experience, kind of critique some of those, and see how they pair with the dishes that I'm fixing. So before I get any farther into this, I did want to say that, appreciate any positive feedback I've having or that you've given, anybody's given me out there. I'm not a professional video maker, so I'm just doing this. I enjoy it. I do enjoy cooking, but as you well may know, it's difficult to do that a lot of times working a full-time job, and so the habit that we can get into is eating fast food, pick up food, take out food, or going to restaurants. Two problems with that: it's expensive and it's not particularly healthy. So I've just, over a period of years, learned how to cook for myself and simplify my life a little bit by maximizing the time that I do spend in the kitchen. So again, appreciate the positive feedback, and the critiques a little bit. I appreciate that. So one of the things that I've been brought up to me is that a lot of the people that are watching this and do like some of the ideas, they're not necessarily single couples. So I think we're going to tweak the name of this series just a little bit. Instead of calling it Single Supper and Suds, we're just going to call it Supper and Suds. So let me know what you think about that. So I appreciate you watching. If you do like what I'm doing here, please give me some feedback, things you'd like to see, beers you'd like to see tried, certain types of meals, maybe the way I fix them, because you don't have to get recipe ideas from me necessarily. I mean, there's a million places you can Google a recipe, but I'm going to show you what I do and how I take one entree and some of the ideas I have to turn those into easy meals. Now, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm just getting ready to leave for work, so it's getting into that fall time of year. And man, one of the greatest things in the world in the fall and winter is called a crock pot. And guys, these things are amazing. They can do a lot. You can fix a lot of really good meals in a crock pot with very little preparation time. That sucker will do the work for you through the day. You come home from work and you got a great meal. So now I am fixing in here, I'm gonna throw in this is a beef bottom round roast. Now there's a lot of cuts of roast out there. The great thing is that cooking them in a crock pot, it's gonna make all these tender and edible. I looked it up, I think it was a pot roast last night. The sucker was $22. For about this is a little bit bigger roast than this one, but this is 12. This deal's $12.23, and so some of your cuts are more expensive than others. You don't have to buy that most expensive cut to have a really nice roast. I mean, this is a great looking piece of meat. So I'm going to show you what I do. Pretty simple. I'm going to put that sucker in the crock pot. I like to add a little water because you don't want to dry this thing out, obviously. So I'm gonna put about 4 cups of water in there. This is not edited, folks, so you can see kind of how we really do things. Now, I put a little water in there. Guys, you can jazz this up however you want. I like to put some potatoes in mine. I like the little small potatoes. These are the baby reds, basically, is what this is. And you don't have to use the whole pack, just whatever you like. I do add a little onion for flavor. I'm actually kind of not crazy about like just a lot of onions, but I like that onion flavor. The onion themselves I don't find particularly appetizing. Now, I like to put mushrooms in mine. And I put plenty of them in there. Now, one of the little tricks that I like to use for my roast is I get some Lipton dry soup mix and put a packet of that in there, and man, it adds some flavor. It's actually a pretty amazing way to fix these things. I sprinkle that on top. I just put 1 packet in. That's about all it takes. So, guys, that's about as tough as it gets. Now you could add all kind of stuff. Some people put the little baby onions or carrots, you name it. The sky's the limit on this. You can do whatever you want, but that's just kind of a simple roast for me. That's the way I like to fix it. I'm not big on cooked carrots, love them raw. And so, but that's my rendition of a roast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn that sucker on low. I'm gonna let it cook all day. It's probably gonna cook 9 or 10 hours by the time I get home tonight. And then, so when I get home, I'm gonna show you the finished product. So enjoy your day at work, and I will see you this evening. Till then, I'm out. So welcome back. It is 5:30 in the evening. On this morning's portion of this segment, I put together a roast. Added some potatoes, some onions, some mushrooms. But guys, you can do whatever you want. You can add to, take away, whatever you want to make a nice roast. The great thing about this kind of a meal is we're using a crock pot, and we're kind of getting into that time of year, the fall season. Actually, we had our first frost today here in Ohio. And wintertime, I love a crock pot. Guys, you can simplify your life with a daggum crock pot. This is Cuisinart. It's got a lot of little bells and whistles on it, but the thing does a great job. There's a lot of meals that I'm gonna fix in this crock pot over the next few months that are fantastic. So you don't need a recipe from me. You can figure out how to do your own roast. I just did a kind of a lesser expensive piece of meat. You know, you could do a chuck roast. I looked at one of those last night. That thing was like $22 for 3 pounds or something. This was about a 2.5 pound shoulder, I believe. I don't even remember what it was now. Nice piece of beef. Put some potatoes and stuff in there. So anyway, so we're gonna get that out of the crock pot. That sucker's been percolating for 9 hours, 9.5 hours or something. And then we're gonna sample another offering tonight from Michelob. So in a couple past editions, we did a Mick Ultra, then we did a Mick Ultra Pure Gold, which is an organic offering by Michelob. This is Michelob Ultra Infusions, Lime and Prickly Pear Cactus. I don't know. I've never had this beer. I've never tasted it. This is going to be new to me, so you're going to get to see my reaction to this in this edition. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that and pour a glass. And guys, if you like what I'm doing here, appreciate it if you give me a like, subscribe to this channel so you can kind of keep an eye on what I'm doing. But this is just kind of fun. Not taking myself too serious with this deal, but if you like it, then hey, you know, appreciate some positive feedback. If you have some meals or some beer that you would like for me to feature on here, please feel free to make those suggestions. Now, one of the things I always do with the beer is kind of get that nose off of it. Now, I can smell this thing right away without even trying. It has a very citrusy smell to it. Kind of unusual. You know, you would think you're gonna smell the lime really strong, but I think what I'm smelling is that prickly pear cactus with a little bit of lime. So kind of interesting there. Let me take a taste of that. As I've talked to you before, the first swallow was kind of a waste on a beer. You kind of get that, it kind of clears your palate out, and then when they get a second taste of this, we'll have a better idea of what we're dealing with. So while I'm kind of letting that percolate on the palate, we're going to go ahead and take some of this out of the crock pot and show you what we've got here. So I am pretty hungry, so I'm going to take a little piece of that along with some potatoes and some mushrooms, and I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what we're having for dinner here. So guys, there you go. If you can see that. All right, so we've got a really nice piece of roast, some onions, potatoes, some mushrooms here. I do like to put a little bit of just coarse sea salt on mine. And we're gonna have a taste here. So we're gonna try a little bit of our roast. As you can see from that, it just falls apart. It couldn't get any more tender than that. It's hot. I love mushrooms, by the way. I put mushrooms in a lot of dishes. If that's not your thing, hey, leave them out. But this is going to be great. So nice meal there. I've been home a few minutes practically. Dinner served. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to show you, I'm going to take a portion of that roast and I'm going to make another quick and easy meal that I think you'll enjoy. And I'm going to have some leftovers from this too. That's a whole crock pot. Even if you have a family, that's plenty to feed you. Guys, that's probably with the roast and the potatoes and the mushrooms and everything, that's less than a $20 meal, and you could feed a family with that. So, and if you're a couple or you're single, it's several nice meals. So let's take another taste of this Michelob Ultra infusions and see what we think. So definitely get a better flavor of this. So obviously it's got always what, you know, that kind of beer taste, but I definitely taste a little bit of the lime, but then that prickly pear, it's a different, I don't know, you know, I've never had a prickly pear before, so I don't know, but it's definitely, I would almost say kind of a melon flavor. You ever had, not cantaloupe, but there's another melon in the store, kind of a green melon. I don't know what that thing's even called. Mushmelon, I don't know. That's kind of what it reminds me of, though. So, obviously, I've said before, finish is important to me. Definitely kind of have almost a, there's a little bit of bitterness to that in the end, but almost like melon rind. But it's good. It's got a good flavor to it. It's not overwhelming. It's different. So it's kind of cool to have something a little different. I'm enjoying it. If you're looking for something just a little different, hey, guys, this is unedited, so you're going to get what you get, but you get a little bit of citrus, that lime up front, and then you kind of get that, what I call that melon flavor, and just a little bit of that rind or a little bit of bitter finish to it, but it's super mild. So I'm enjoying it. Pretty nice little beer. So I hope you've enjoyed this segment. It's a pretty simple deal. Crock pot meal, nice roast potatoes, mushrooms, onions. There's some soup mix. You can do whatever you want, guys. You can add to or take away. I hope you enjoyed it. Easy meal, under 20 bucks. Nice Michelob Ultra infusions to go along with it. I think it pairs pretty well. So until the next episode, I'm out.